Aaron here from the Autopod Decepticast, and before we get into the show proper, are you like me and wondering what the hell happened in the G1 Transformers universe between season 2 of the television show and the movie? That time span is 1986 to 2005. That's 20 years, son! A lot can happen in that period of time, and they never explain it, not in any of the media, comics, television. That's downright problematic to the franchise, if you ask me, but it also presents an opportunity for creativity, character, and world building. And that is where our friends at the Transformers Reanimated come in. Based on the original cartoon series, the Transformers Reanimated bridges the gap between the end of the seminal second season of the television show and the 1986 movie that defined all of our childhoods. You've got authors Yoshi from Transmissions and Greg from Unfunny Nerd Tangent, and together they're releasing each issue of their comic series along with cover art by today's top Transformers artists. And you know what? They're doing it for free. Free of charge for your reading and nostalgic pleasure. Don't have time to read? No big deal. Illiterate? Hey, don't worry about it because you can download the hilarious audio read-throughs of each issue. Audio read-throughs, I might add, that we, the Autopod Decepticast, often contribute to. So please check out their first 5 issues now with many more to come by visiting TransformersReanimated.com. That is TransformersReanimated.com. One more time, TransformersReanimated.com.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig.
Oh my God, what if we just did it like this the whole time? ASMR episode will just be really...
This is the third episode in a row we've talked about ASMR.
Oh no, we are really into ASMR.
Let's do this shit.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 cartoon series. This is APDC episode number 115. Today we're going to be covering Transformers episode number 11, a.k.a. The Ultimate Doom, Part 1. We're getting into a 3-parter. I'm your host, Aaron, and long before my podcasting days, I was a former Ohio State quarterback and rookie FBI agent. I was teamed up with Ryan, a chiclet-toothed veteran agent, in investigating a run of bank robberies by a gang of thugs who wore face masks depicting former U.S. presidents. We're talking Johnson, Nixon, Carter, Reagan, nearly the whole 1963 to 1989 run. Ryan had this crazy theory that these guys were surfers, so I went underground to infiltrate the community. I totally hooked up with Lori Petty, and through that, I met Caleb, who was sort of a kind of spiritual shaman type of dude who let me into the inner circle of his gang of Point Break back scratchers. And anyway, Ryan and I, we made a couple of mistakes along the way. We thought, for instance, that Anthony Kiedis' buddies were the tan-lined looters, but as Tom Sizemore from the DEA pointed out to me, how are these guys robbing Tarzana City National Bank on August 2nd when they're in Fort fucking Lauderdale? Why don't you figure that out? Well, here's the deal. I was getting too close to my shell-beaded buddies. On a stakeout, Ryan and I more or less confirmed that the ex-Prez gang was none other than Caleb. And Caleb also realized I was an FBI agent. I had a clear shot. I didn't take it. Lori Petty broke up with me. Caleb and his gang kidnapped and blackmailed me into participating in what was the final ex-Prez bank robbery of the season. They loaded me up onto a plane. They forced me to watch their skydive escape to Mexico. They jumped the plane, leaving me with no chute, just let me deal with my own fucked up life. But I said, screw it. I jumped from the plane, no chute, collided with Caleb for some mid-air wrestling. We land, I saved Lori Petty's life, but Caleb and his gang escaped. Well, I knew where I could catch that son of a bitch. Bells Beach, Victoria, Australia, the 50-year storm, producing large, lethal waves. I knew that Caleb couldn't resist the adrenaline rush of surfing this event. So I showed up, I cuffed him. He screamed, he begged, he pleaded. He just wanted to catch this one last wave. And having discovered the spiritual side of the surf myself, I let him go. I knew he wouldn't survive that wave, and I walked away and chucked my FBI badge into the ocean along with it. And then I started this podcast.
Fear causes hesitation, and hesitation will cause your worst fears to come true.
Now that's a good one, Caleb. You did it right this time. A
Sounds like a
quote we
fortune
actually
cookie.
know.
I'm Ryan, and why'd they leave Gerald Ford out of the masks?
That is true. Yeah, maybe just because he was like a half a termer.
Fallen down president?
Yeah, that would be funny if their presidents that they picked actually emulated. I mean, whoever was Nixon did do like I'm not a crook and stuck his fingers in
Wes
the air.
and I were talking about this. Whether she said that we've been watching The Deadliest Decade, the '90s, and it's great. I highly recommend it as a crime show. But
Visual or podcast?
It's on either Hulu or Prime.
Okay.
It's a show about like just how crimes in the '90s. But they at the top they had the clip of the President Clinton saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman," and she said, "Is there any other quote from a president that's been more played?" And I was like, maybe I'm not a crook is up there, but I think that's got to be it's got to be near the top.
In the mix, but I don't think as popular as those would probably be like George Bush's. Like he had a lot of gaffes.
No new taxes.
That's a good one.
Well, and I
That's
was
his
thinking
father.
W, but that is a great one. Maybe it's not
The one
the
about
Mission Accomplished banner.
How about Reagan? How about Reagan? Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Mommy.
Mommy,
Well,
mommy, tear
Nancy.
down this wall.
We all have a good Reagan.
And there's always I want Ryan to do it. The Ich bin
ein Berliner.
yeah. But of course, I remember it from Animaniacs, where it's Ich bin Noodle Noggin. Remember that?
I didn't
don't
really watch
remember that.
Animaniacs,
Pinky
but I
in the
thought you were going to
Brain.
say Bologna. Ich bin Bologna.
For some reason on Animaniacs, Pinky in the Brain, I believe Pinky goes, Ich bin Noodle Noggin.
Wow. Kennedy had some good ones. We choose to go to the moon.
Fear itself.
We have nothing to fear about fear itself.
I like your Kennedy.
Thank you.
Hillary, I feel like I've got a pretty good Bill Clinton, but it often merges into my Matthew McConaughey.
I sometimes when I do Bill Clinton, it's very close to my Jimmy Carter. I'm just a peanut farmer. I didn't want to have 2 terms. I build houses for people. I'm a really good person.
He is.
You sound
He
more like a
is.
Southern pedophile than
Like Pee Wee Gaskins, who's a Southern
Don't.
serial killer.
Tell us more about Pee Wee Gaskins.
No, please don't.
It's all right. It's not that interesting.
Okay. Before we get into the episode proper, why don't we get down with whatever this cocktail is? I've heard rumors of it being questionable.
And these are being served today in coffee cups, so I'm very curious.
It's a hot drink because guess what, everybody? Y'all, this is our Thanksgiving Day episode, Thanksgiving weekend episode.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Comes out on
That's
the
right.
1st of December. So I thought I'd make another hot drink because the last one was so popular. Everybody loved the last punch I made. So this one...
With the exception of like Irish coffees, I don't really like hot cocktails.
I keep trying to make it
hot.
hot. And they're very popular in like the 17th century.
Okay.
Because, I mean...
Got to keep warm.
What are you going to do? You can't have cold cocktails unless it's winter.
Right.
So this is Megatron's Space Bridge Punch.
Okay.
Which is taken from the Shanghai Cossack Punch on page 55 of Jigger Beaker and Glass, which is a book that Caleb got me for my birthday, which is Drinking Around the World in the 30s.
White people drinking around
Yes,
the world in the 30s.
specifically.
White men of privilege.
What's
The book here. The Shanghai Cossack Punch, which is what it's taken from, is those of us who knew Shanghai before the Red Russians were chased out and the White Russians were dissipated and scattered to the 4 corners of the globe. Remember what we remember, which is a weird sentence.
this is written before World War II.
Correct.
World War I.
Was so to put that in context, the Cossacks were considered the White Russians. They were the Russian imperial forces back in the Russian Revolution. Were fighting the Russian Red forces, which were the Bolsheviks and the socialists. And this all happened in like 1917, 1918 during the World War I period. Russia actually had to back out of World War I because they had their own fucking revolution that they were dealing with.
Spoiler, the Red Russians won.
Yeah.
And then they murdered the entire royal family.
Anybody and anybody who had any capitalist
They had to go.
notions, right? If you were a business owner or part of
So
a bourgeoisie,
Therefore,
or
the White Russians being scattered to the four winds.
I did read. Thank you, Caleb. I have that too. But I'm glad you as a history major were able to bring that to us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
My education's paying off.
Obviously, the White Russians, that made me think of the Big Lebowski, the drink, the White Russian. Then I thought, why isn't there a Red Russian drink? There is. It is equal parts cherry liqueur and vodka. Which sounds super sweet and not good. So this one, this drink was served hot, and it is 1 cup of brandy, a half a cup of triple sec, 2 cups of hot tea, a half a cup of dark rum, the juice of 2 lemons, 2/3 teaspoon Orzat syrup, which is an almond syrup that's used in Mai Tais, and orange flower water.
It smells really good.
I will find out.
Yeah, it smells.
And then lemon peel for garnish.
It smells.
It does
awesome.
smell good. Are we cheersing?
Yeah, cheers.
Okay, here we go.
To the revolution. I like it.
I don't find this offensive at all.
It's strong. This is something I definitely want to get drunk before it gets
Cold.
remotely lukewarm.
You were really playing this one down, but this is good.
I wanted to keep expectations low.
You brought along some accoutrements.
That's a strong drink.
Should we? You brought pumpkin spice simple syrup. What's in that blue bottle?
This is the orange flower water.
Okay.
You can it says to add more or less of it as you like. But I honestly, I brought those in case we wanted to dress it up. But I might.
No, I don't want.
I don't need to
leave it
dress it
alone.
up.
Good.
No, we're good. All right, awesome. One more time. What's it
That
called?
is the Megatron Space Bridge Punch.
Oh, nice. Quick reminder to all of those who love what we do and would love to prove it fiscally.
Yeah, show me the money.
We're on Patreon. There's several tiers of support you can choose from based on how much you love us. And there's plenty of rewards, most of them artistically based. I mean, certainly more access to us and our goofball antics. But there's at different tiers. We've got, different art things that you will qualify for. The highest tier we haven't pumped up in a while. I can't remember how much that is. Is that a $20, $25 level? Entitles you to a commission by Ryan.
Yes.
After 6 months at that level. and
And
one
then-
a year.
But you also can only drop down to the immediate level below it if you choose to do that.
Sure.
I'm just making that up.
Okay.
You can do whatever the fuck
Yeah,
you want.
I don't care. I mean,
Cash in on your
also, if you're
cash in on your drawing and disappear for all I care.
Well, don't do that. Stick around, listen at least.
How would you work with this? There are a few people who already qualify for this, but how would you collaborate? What's your...
Well, I did as part of the G My Joe challenge contest. I did give our friend Haley. I gave her a commission, which was her as Shockwave, and it's probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. And basically, she just was like that classic number 5 issue of Marvel with Shockwave, and she sent me a bunch of pictures of her cosplaying as Shockwave, and so I used those to put her in there. She hasn't hung it up yet because she's planning her wedding, and also she needs to get a frame for it, so she's very busy. But once she does, she'll put a
show it
picture of it up. Yeah, it's
We're waiting, Haley.
it's so good.
What's the deal?
Yeah, she's busy.
Get married already so you can do the thing that celebrates us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's more about us.
Come on, priorities.
But yeah,
Haley.
I mean, I'll just tell me, kind of give me an idea of what you want, and we'll DM back and forth. And I'm also one of those artists that will take pictures at stages. I don't want to just do it and have you not like something. So
You know what we should do? We should crash your wedding.
Yeah.
look out for that.
We'll come in cosplay. I wonder if it will. Do you think it'll be a cosplay themed wedding?
I would say I would imagine that they would. I would say they would do a traditional wedding and then do a cosplay reception. I've got a surprise in the works.
Oh shit!
I discovered that I have a suit that has everything that has the color scheme of Shockwave,
Oh,
Really?
and I need to.
A purple suit?
I do, and I need to dress. I need to dress up in it and take some pictures.
See you in TFCon
I have a
Yeah, I could.
Orlando.
No.
I have a blue tux that could do I could do Soundwave.
I didn't discover this I discovered this by accident after DC, and I was like, I got that. Oh shit, I got that. Yeah.
Nice. I want to see pictures of this immediately.
I don't want to give.
Sound
I don't want to give too much away. I've got a really good idea. And
Okay. Yeah, keep it.
Yeah. So
Keep it tight to the best.
what I need is I need an old '80s like handheld like cell phone, like a module.
A brick.
Yeah. I need to find something like that, and it will make the costume perfect.
Okay.
I bet you that's pretty easy to find.
I would think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search it real quick so I don't forget while you were talking.
I was just touching on after our drink with the Thanksgiving thing. This made me think of you, Aaron. Speaking of like just Turkey Day, I recall that I want to say that there was turkey in reference to like a Leonard Maltin review of Transformers the movie.
Yeah, the rating was turkey.
Yeah.
Didn't even get a star.
And didn't the G.I. Joe get like 3 stars?
Something like that.
And you were incensed. This was
Why wouldn't you be
whenever we were
incensed?
children? I agree. It's just like, why did he hate this so much?
Yeah, he's a hater because he doesn't understand. He's culturally clueless. Leonard Maltin, I hope you're burning in hell. I don't think you're dead.
I don't think he's dead.
Shout out real quick. We have a 5-star review
Oh,
on Stitcher.
we do?
Really?
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Let me give you the headline here. Amazing Transformers, the movie comedy podcast. This is actually from about 11 months ago.
Oh, shit.
So I'm sorry I
I didn't
missed
even know
that.
there
We're
were
bad.
reviews on Stitcher.
Yeah, no, there is. Here's what they had to say. This show is a great mix of comedy, lewdness, deep diving Transformers content, and just listen to 3 guys who have known each other for 30 years. Have fun and talk about everything Transformers the movie. So very nice review.
you.
The name of the reviewer is W. Zane.
I wonder who that could be.
Well,
Wait a minute.
whoever
Wait a minute.
whoever you are, W. Zane, I thank you for listening. It's really, and thank you for commenting on Stitcher. I mean, maybe more people.
Holy
Feel free to do
shit.
that, people.
Completely forgot this existed.
W. Zane is a handle that Ryan has used on and off throughout his life.
Since I was like 16.
What does that stand for?
It stands for William Zane, Xaine, which was a character name I came up with like whenever I was in high school for a story.
This is one of your nom de plumes.
Yeah,
One of your alter egos.
it's my pen name.
All right. So
I forgot about the existence of that completely. And I just said I didn't know there were Stitcher reviews. I might have a problem.
Last episode recap. An unstable energy emanating meteoroid struck the Earth. Megatron stole the boulder and duped the dinos into becoming Decepticons. Prime reflipped the Grimlock game by proving that true power comes from the strength of but one muscle, the heart.
The most powerful muscle.
Also my dick.
Oh,
Saw that coming.
you're
now-
gonna see it coming.
Let's move on to the Ultimate Doom Part 1.
Yeah,
which
baby.
originally aired November 3rd, 1984. Let's open it right up.
I've been excited for this one. I remember liking this arc a lot as a kid, and I understand, though I haven't seen it, that this is the kind of the basic plot for one of the Michael Bay movies.
It is. I didn't even think about that.
No spoiler, but like bringing Cybertron
No,
to Earth.
spoil the fuck out of those.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Megatron's going to bring Cybertron to Earth.
We open up with the creepy tones of Vic Caroli telling us that the landscape before us is the Malabar coast of India. And it just so happens that a Maharaja of this area is converting his whole palace into a solar energy station.
Yeah, so I mean, we do open on a power plant, but at least it's a really pretty one.
Yeah. And what a fucking guy. He's doing it for his people.
You
they make
know,
a sense
all
of
those
saying.
Caucasian ginger Maharajas.
I'm sorry, I was obviously distracted looking at 80 cell phone models on my phone while you guys are talking, but I want to interject about the Malabar coast of India.
Mm-hmm.
It's the western coast, if I'm not
is the
mistaken.
Southwestern.
shoreline of India. And yes, there are actual islands off the coast, southwest coast of India.
Thanks,
You got it.
Johnny, history and geography.
I had that
Boom.
I had that as a note, so I was like, I gotta
get it.
I gotta get that in there.
And for those who may not know, a Maharaja is an administrative rank in India. Generally speaking, it could be a Hindu prince, ranking above the Raja, basically. Used historically, Maharaja refers to a ruler of one principal native state within India. The feminine form is Maharani.
So you got your information from the same place I did, which is Wikipedia. So I wrote all that down too.
No, we just know this stuff,
It's just in
Ryan.
our heads.
Yeah, we are highly educated and cultured. This, despite what we see on screen
Yes.
from the monitor of the Maharaja's computerized solar energy station, this thing is pumping out 300 units of energy per
Units of
second.
energy. Because on screen it says 30.
And what is a unit of energy?
Who can say?
I guess some might call kilowatts, gigawatts.
I think they measure units in how much
Joules?
how many joules of energy are generated per astrosecond.
Perfect.
Good. As we all know, wherever positive energy-related events are happening in the world, the Seekers aren't far behind. Thundercracker blows a hole in the side of the palace to do something.
Also, this Maharaja is doing all this shit by himself. Like, he's very hands-on.
He doesn't have a team.
No, I will have to hand it to him. I love that guy.
Yeah?
I think he's doing a good
The
job.
redheaded Indian Maharaja.
There have to be red-headed Indians.
They
He looks
are.
pretty white to me.
There can also be light
It's
skinned.
true.
He can be just like white as this sheet of paper in front of me. As long as he's getting the work done, I'm not
For
gonna,
his people.
for his people. I'm not going to judge him.
I'm not judging him. I'm just
Why are you
saying
judging
it's
him
a
by the color
weird-
of his skin,
It's a
Ryan?
weird
That's
choice
kinda
to
racist.
make an
It
Indian
is.
Maharaja white.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you're not reflecting on the true biodiversity of this cultured genus that is humanity.
No, that's not it.
So the Autobots are in the jungle. You got Prime, you got Jazz, you got Sunstreaker, you got Wheeljack. Thank God they got to cross over some water though, and
Yep.
they activate their hydrofoils and just gently glide across the river here.
These hydrofoils come back several times in the series, and I actually looked. It's much slower than flying, but honestly, driving across the ocean is not the slowest necessarily way of getting there. Like cruise ships only go about 35 miles an hour.
You guys want to go on a cruise together?
Caleb and I
sometime?
talked about it.
I'm going on a cruise in February.
Why didn't you guys?
Oh,
bring
that's
me
right.
to
Is
that
it a Disney
conversation?
cruise?
I'm going on a Disney cruise.
Where to? What's your point of?
The Bahamas?
What's your point of origin?
Actually, I'm going to the
Malabar coast?
Yeah, an island off the Malabar coast of India.
So the Autobots are approaching the palace. The Maharaja makes some last-ditch effort
Panicking.
to keep the power going. He's really concerned with keeping the power going. He's not concerned for his own safety. Again, to Caleb's point, this is a great leader.
Yes.
But Skywarp grabs him, and just as Skywarp is about to murder him, Prime just lassos him.
weird.
Just lassos him right out of his hand.
I like he's dangling around.
He's dangling
Like a puppet.
The Maharaja is dangling like whenever you pick up a cat from their scruff.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
that's what that looks like. But no fear, Prime. I don't know how Prime has this weird
This
cord.
lasso that Prime
He just-
uses to rescue the Maharaja is quite ridiculous.
Whips him over and saves him. And it's again with scale. The Maharaja is easily twice as big. I think that Skywarp and the Seekers are Prime size. I
They're
would
a
say
little shorter, but-
Scale, but scale they're pretty close.
Yeah.
He is clearly bigger than Skywarp's hands. He's probably like 3 or 4 Skywarp hands. But then when Prime
He's 3
lassos him in,
Skywarp hands tall.
Prime lassos him in and lets him out of his hand. It's as if Prime's hand is
His whole body, yeah.
yeah. It's all right. Well, good point, Aaron. Megatron is watching the action from a monitor, and I guess it's from the body cams.
Of
That's
Starscream
right.
or
That's right.
They did all that, roughhousing tomfoolery as police officers, and so now they've got to wear body cams.
Oh shit.
Yep. And some strange looking human in a white coat with a weird fucking metal yarmulke is just
And a metal hand.
hanging out with Megatron, and we will come to know this character as Dr. Arkaville.
Yes.
Is it pronounced Arkaville or Arkville?
Arkville.
I've been pronouncing it Arkaville. I can't remember what they say in the show.
Well,
There's no way to find out.
nope, and we're not going to.
Okay,
Listeners, correct us.
please, and donate money to our Patreon.
If you really love us, that's what you'll do. Dr. Arkville reminds Megatron that he needs a guinea pig for this experiment that he's got going.
For Operation Guinea Pig.
Yeah, we don't. Very literal name of your operation.
Yeah, it didn't go far afield.
It could only be more literal as if they got an actual guinea pig.
Which-
Oh, the most adorable.
They are.
Operation.
I have I have 2 guinea pigs, and Aaron has a
We're
guinea
looking
pig.
at one right now.
There's a guinea pig in the ark here.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you buy a guinea pig for your child that they no longer care for. It becomes your guinea pig, and
Yes.
it hangs out in your ark and stinks up your office.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't make your child responsible for the pets that they
Oh
have.
shit!
No, he's actually totally right about that. But I give her leeway because she's taken on so many extracurricular activities. She
Right.
really can't take care
She
of it.
truly has an insane
Me-
schedule. Whenever
Yeah.
I took her to Incredible Pizza, she was telling me about all she's doing, and I'm like, when do you
Yeah,
do anything?
I had
Yeah.
to cut.
Plus, it's split custody on top of all that.
right.
Yeah, I had to cut bro cells back on some stuff. Honestly, like it was too much stuff. The guinea pigs is a group effort. Okay, so
I had
I'm
guinea
sorry.
pigs as a kid.
I did not. I do now, though, as an adult.
Yep.
I would take care of the guinea pigs from our 4th grade class on holiday. I would
really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You would show up to school, they'd let you in.
No,
No, I took
you
them
take it
home. I
home with
assume.
you.
that would be interesting. Like they give me the keys to the school. Here
Well,
you go.
do you guys, Aaron? Do you remember in TV video production we could just come and go to the school kind of
Oh
whenever
yeah.
we wanted?
I would walk in and out of the school all day long.
It was great. What a wonderful time to go to school.
And it was nice.
When I was a freshman or sophomore, there was a cool janitor.
Yes.
Oh,
doing-
shit.
I'm doing air quotes.
That's a,
He was a younger guy, probably in his mid-20s. He had a ponytail and a beard. And I don't know how I got to know him. I can't remember exactly what
I'm
the
sorry. I'm
connection
afraid
was.
you might have been molested.
there's so many red flags going off in my head right
It
now.
might as well
There
be
are a
Moscow
lot of red
Square.
flags. He would buy us cigarettes.
What?
He would let us like if we saw him like we were at a football game or something like that, he would let us into like the storage areas where they would keep the candy and food for and we would just he would let us take boxes of M&Ms and shit like that.
I don't remember
This
this.
is terrifying.
I can't remember his name. He wasn't around the next year. I don't know the story behind him
He was
being
in prison.
canned or
I can
left.
imagine
But-
something was
but
up.
it was really random, A, to be a high school student friendly with a janitor, B, that janitor is a total I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he'd really like. What a fascinating history this person must have had of like on the run.
Maybe they're a listener now.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's dead.
I just hope if he's listening, please
Reach out to us.
no, contribute to our Patreon.
We don't take M&Ms though.
no, but we'll take cigarettes.
I'm sure that's currency where he locally resides.
So again, Arkaville need a guinea pig for Project Guinea Pig. Megatron is like, chill, Arkaville. We are in the process of executing this project right now. Megatron reaches out to Soundwave and is basically like, hey, we got to kick off phase 2, Electric Boogaloo. Soundwave is kicking
Outside
it
the arc.
right outside Autobot headquarters.
It's so dumb.
He's just there.
No, I'm so pissed off at this episode because it's just more evidence of how incompetent the Autobots are. And that
I
they-
have some notes about that in the script deviation.
The
They're
modern,
There's a reason.
the modern day middle class home in America has
a
better
door,
security.
first of all.
has better security than Autobot fucking headquarters
Yeah.
does.
No, I the more I watch this, the more I experience the storylines, the more I realize that the Decepticons are just plain out superior to the Autobots.
Yeah, it's not just Soundwave that's superior.
No, it's all of them. They're just better.
Soundwave releases all the tapes to get in on this caper. Inside of Autobot headquarters, Sparkplug is giving Ironhide some kind of deep tissue
lube
massage.
job, but also he looks more. He's way off design.
He looks more like Spike
He
in
looks
the
more
face.
like Spike, but in a weird alternate way. It's not. And Rumble starts fucking just in the hallway, making an earthquake.
So as he's giving him the warm oil lube, they hear booming reverberations, and that's Blue Rumble, by the way.
Rumble is blue.
Rumble.
Frenzy is red.
You know who let Rumble into the Ark, right? That janitor with the long hair. He's like there mopping. He's just like,
You want some M&Ms while you're in?
Hey, you can do whatever you want. You come in here, you want to make an earthquake, I'll give you some.
Once
I don't know why you think.
once again, Ryan it just automatically goes to like gangster mode or whatever.
Hey, come
New
over here.
Jersey. I don't know why he thinks like a New Jersey guy is a Midwestern janitor.
Hey, I'm a Midwestern janitor. What do you want? Some
it's the-
canola?
for
You want
Ryan-
some mozzarella?
For Ryan, it's the voice of the working class. It's like a dock worker in Newark.
Yeah, man.
It really is.
I just like doing
Ryan,
that voice.
here's your
Fine.
character, Latino
Dock worker.
dock worker in San Antonio, where there are no docks.
Blue collar.
Hey. Hey, you want to get some tacos?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
You put a little Latin
did.
slang on it at the end.
I did.
There was a little. It went a little bit
It
there.
did go a little bit Latin. Yeah, I couldn't help. When you say tacos, that's how it happens.
a little cheech snuck up in
But
there.
also, maybe the guy from Staten Island just is one of those people. Whenever he says a Spanish word, it's like, yeah, we went to go see Ricardo Montalban.
Right, I don't
like
see. No,
like
he's not
Giada
going
does
to, though.
doing her cooking show, and she's got no accent whatsoever. But then she's like ravioli.
Yes, yeah.
we're still inside Autobot headquarters.
Just right after Rumble.
Yeah, janitor let him in.
There's the rumbling effect. Everybody's freaking out. They track down
This
where the
device.
rumbling is happening, and they're like, I know somehow Ironhide has like a metal detector
It looks,
that
that suction cups to the floor.
somehow detects where the everything's coming from.
I just guess that Ironhide does all the seismic shit because if you remember, he's sonar sensors to find the earthquake, and
Sonar.
that never comes back.
Right. So they find Rumble. They're like, he's just down the hall here. To the right.
Yeah, he's literally like a couple yards down the hall.
Meanwhile, Soundwave has let out both Ravage and Laserbeak. No Buzzsaw love in the
I don't
in the
even
show.
think does Buzzsaw ever show up in
I
the
think
show.
he was in the first 3 episodes. I'm gonna have to
I don't think so.
research that.
All Buzzsaw was a gimmick for everybody to have to turn around
To
go
both-
back to the fucking store,
Buy the same goddamn
and buy
toy all over
Laserbeaks.
again.
Yeah,
Buy
same
Ravage
toy,
and,
but
and
with different
Rumble.
stickers on them.
And different, paint scheme.
Yeah,
Buzzsaw. I actually prefer the Buzzsaw color scheme. I might be an
Oh,
outlier
shit.
here, guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to say something controversial.
You're gonna bring down the heat.
we have Buzzsaw here, don't we? In your library. Mine. We have my Buzzsaw.
Oh,
here.
yeah. I guess we do. You want to go find it?
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry. I don't want to slow down the thing. All right.
Too late.
Touche.
So Sideswipe steps in because they're watching Rumble and doing nothing about it. They're just watching him like, oh my God, what the hell do we do here? Sideswipe steps in to take him out, but he gets attacked from the side by Ravage. And he shakes Ravage off, chucks him against the wall here. The humans are kind of cheering everybody
them on.
to do something. And that's where Laserbeak swoops in and kidnaps Sparkplug.
so go ahead, Caleb.
I'm gonna see, maybe I'm gonna say the same thing as you.
Okay.
Laserbeak comes up from the top of the volcano, flies in.
I don't know where he flew in. He's flying out from the top.
You can see him coming in.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he comes in.
All right.
Okay.
When it rains in there, or whatever, is it just openly raining into the ark?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That
can they
was not the point I was.
Can
gonna
they
make.
not just cover that up, or
Just
It
stretch a
seems
big
like-
tarp over it.
figure it out?
And it seems like at this point the volcano's not active at all, right? You
Correct.
assume? Okay.
Yeah.
But it will be.
It seems like the Autobots are just open air. It's an open air concept.
No,
Everywhere. They have no doors.
There's
or-
no control of in and out in this
Yeah.
place.
The access you can get access from the ground, from the sky.
Yeah.
the plant. Like
Come on in.
come on
No,
in.
obviously.
the weather's fine.
You're invited.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say the plan to kidnap Sparkplug is needlessly complicated, but it does work really well.
It does.
I don't know why Sparkplug has to be their guinea pig.
I think it was just maybe
move the
they were
story
going to
along,
either
make it
Sparkplug
personal.
Oh, yeah.
or
No, they totally-
Well,
they-
it has to be Sparkplug because that plays into later, like Spike trying to get his dad to, whenever he comes mind control.
Right. No, the Decepticons are
but
so
there's no strategic
Yeah,
imperative.
they're
Not
so
necessarily.
evil. They're like, we need to make sure to set up a really problem, like a really stressful father-son dynamic here in the process of us brainwashing somebody. Let's get Sparkplug.
Because we'll see in this very episode, they have
Yeah.
many other guinea pigs.
Yes.
They're all dressed like Sparkplug.
And all of those guys,
simplicity's
every
sake.
single one of those when you see them marching out later on,
they all have a son.
they all have a son.
And they all love the Autobots.
Yeah.
The son
So
does.
what they don't show off camera is that not only is Spike there, there's also like all of those sons of all of those guys are there,
Also
like
all dressed
freaking
like
out.
Spike.
Yeah, all
Right.
freaking out.
Right. We're back in India. There is a
No,
pretty...
you're not in India.
We're in the Malabar
You're
coast.
in an island off the Malabar coast of India.
Thank you for correcting me. There is still a pretty savage battle taking
Yeah.
place at the Maharaja's palace. The Seekers get word from Megatron that Operation Guinea Pig is complete, so the squad emulates me when I'm finishing up my nasty. which is
What?
that they pull out.
Optimus does say they pulled out, which made me laugh. But
They've pulled out, and without any energon cubes. That does not satisfy my logic circuits.
I did also like how the heroic Autobots are here to save the power plant by destroying the fucking power
yeah.
plant.
Yeah, it's all fucked up.
No
The
one
roof
wants-
is gone.
No one's acknowledging that you just called it. You're finishing your nasty.
That's
one's
whatever.
gonna do that.
Hey, baby, you wanna help me with my nasty?
I mean, we are perpetually stuck in the 80s, so I should have said wild thing.
Yeah.
Or
Doing it. I'm gonna do it.
How about this one? Porking.
Porking.
Ugh,
There
that
it
is the
That's
grossest
the
way
one.
to describe it.
That is the 80s. That is, oh yeah. That wins.
We can't take it any further.
The Prime says that does not satisfy my logic circuits, and his chest glows for some reason.
Does it not do? It doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't do
It just
anything.
glows and then boom.
So is that the equivalent of when Megatron's eyes light up whenever something
Kinda.
particularly evil and delightful strikes him? When Prime doesn't trust something, his
His
tits
tits light
just
up.
shine.
It's so weird.
The Autobots are very confused by the departure of the Decepticons at this point.
Yeah, they've never seen them retreat.
Yeah.
And that's where they get the word. That's true. Yeah, that's where they get the words. But this is suspicious.
Yeah, I
You have
guess.
to say the context is weird. The Autobot headquarters has been hit, and so it's time to go back and figure all that shit out
It's just a constant running around. It's like
across
Putting
the
out
globe.
fires
yeah, just
everywhere.
it's just reactionary. It's just one after another. It's a nonstop fucking reaction.
This might cause some controversy, particularly in the close Countach
You've been very
community.
controversial
Yeah,
this episode.
I know.
I kind of hope it does because otherwise it's just boring.
I don't love Sunstreaker's face. I don't like his face or his dumb ears or any of that.
I don't either.
One moment, my wife is calling.
My
Let's-
wife.
Put her on the phone. Put her on.
Baby, you are on with the Autopod Decepticast.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
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 Can I just talk to Aaron, please?
Oh, okay, sure.
Aw.
Sure,
All right,
sure.
hold
I
on.
thought maybe you had something for the audience.
Anyway,
I would
force
like
them.
to, guys. What you just saw is called learning a lesson. She's called in the past while we've been recording, and I haven't picked up, and then didn't talk to her again for hours. And
has she ever heard of texting?
I don't pay attention. I tend to get in my vacuum and just stay there.
Oh, I've noticed. I've noticed. When I text you and then
He talks about this every time we bring up texting.
it's good. It's good that you separate, like you don't get distracted by your texts and you focus on what you're doing. Okay.
I could be better, frankly.
There should not be the expectation that you have to respond to a text within a certain amount of time. My wife's like that. My wife might not respond to a text right away. She might not answer the phone. She might not respond at all.
She might disappear for 4 years,
Yeah.
show up with a whole new family.
But I understand now. If I send a text and you don't respond right away, I don't get mad because you're fucking working on shit that's like
I do think that
more
there is
important. Than
there is
my
a
stupid
cultural
texts.
expectation that you should do your best to return a text within a day. Return
Oh,
or
yeah,
return any
sure.
message within a day. Like,
24 hours.
But the problem is then when you get in that mode, you don't like things either pile up and they get buried and you don't see it on your screen anymore. You forget about it. I, don't know,
guess
there's
you
a
get
balance,
way
there's
more
a balance somewhere.
You must
Hey,
get way more
you must
text than
get
I
a lot of
do.
text.
just texting is a pretty common way that we communicate at work as well. So like
I IM that shit.
We use Slack.
use Slack.
I think we try not to IM it because because the corporate overlords are watching us at all times.
Here is the problem that I've run into before once, and someone ran into my office and warned me about it because I was just an idiot. Is I was screen sharing a presentation that and that someone else was like. All I was doing was screen sharing and making sure to move through the presentation. Someone else was talking. Oh my god! And I was having the IMs of criticizing that, like starting to pop up on the screen.
Oh my god!
So I
Somebody sprints into your office.
The CFO barges in and goes,
Holy shit!
You got to get that. Like, you just be aware. And I'm like, oh yeah, thanks T. You're right.
You know what though? That's on that person who thought they could see that that stuff was going to pop up too.
Sure.
Fuck those people.
As long as I didn't reply back on the screen, like, yeah, what a fucking dipshit.
As long as you're covered, it's cool.
It's that like that kind of paranoia where if I'm responding to someone in an email chain, I'm like, I don't want to respond all or reply all.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh
I'm good
God,
about that.
Who am I talking to?
But so you do text. You do text. I try to not give my cell phone out to too many people.
The only
Yeah.
person, I mean, basically that
There's
I
a
text
handful.
is my supervisor. Like if I'm gonna call in or whatever.
So many
Right,
of
I'm
us
taking-
work
I'm gonna-
remotely.
I'm going to take a nap in the van.
Yeah, I'll be in the bathroom.
Well, in my work, I mean, there's so much cross-functional work that we do, so many different people we have to deal with, and so many different
get it.
ways that people like to be communicated with. I do a lot of work texting as
Okay.
well as IMing, and we just switched to a new format. We were using Skype, now we're using Zoom. And the I think they fixed it or figured it out, but the automatic default for Zoom was whenever you got into a conference call was to light up your camera. And so a lot of people were having their cameras lit up that they didn't even know. I keep a Post-it note.
I
And
do
it's
too.
exactly why I keep a Post-it note. People are always like, why you keep a Post-it note on there? Why are you so paranoid? You think people are watching you? It's not so much that I think people are watching me all the time. It's because when you light up your whatever, you don't know when it's going to pop up and don't know when you're going to be picking your nose.
You shouldn't even ask me. I want my fucking privacy.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty
It
simple.
lights up and it's just
Fuck
your
you.
dick being stroked off
by myself.
Yeah.
or whoever
Yeah.
by that janitor.
Yeah, but so anyway, I guess long story short,
Oh no.
I feel you. I understand that more now, and I wish,
Just assume positive intent, Caleb.
but I wish I'm not going to
I'll
come
try and
between
get
you and
back
your
to you.
wife on that. But I wish she'd lighten up a little bit.
We're at Decepticon headquarters.
Yep.
The namesake of Project Guinea Pig has arrived, and Dr. Arkville is pleased. And he makes some moves that make me wonder how inspired is C. Montgomery Burns by Dr. Arkville. He
hand-rubbing?
literally says excellent while rubbing his hands together. And they kind of have the same haircut and pointy nails.
I would say probably it's coincidence.
I'm sure it's a coincidence, but it is a strong
neat one.
coincidence.
Yeah. It is a neat one.
Also, like, this part where we haven't quite gotten there yet, but whenever Sparkplug, Megatron talks about him being a guest, and Sparkplug says, "Guest, huh? Prisoner is more like it." I'm like, no fucking shit, Sparkplug.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
not a
not
very
get-
witty retort.
Do you not get sarcasm?
Yeah.
We're paused here at 4:15. Megatron's front part of his arm cannon is very.
It's very small in this
Very
episode
teeny.
entirely.
I don't understand that model. Like that's not menacing at all.
It's still a big ass gun. I don't know. You're right. I don't like it. I
Whatever.
think it looks weird.
It's
but-
my least favorite animation model error. Is Megatron's tiny arm cannon. Laserbeak at this point, as Ryan referred to, drops Sparkplug off in a seat. They come down an elevator, opens up. He just swoops in and drops him in a nice little lazy boy.
Mm-hmm. Made of metal.
Megatron kicks the chair over to him.
It's actually nice timing. Kicks the chair over.
I don't know
right
if I've
as
ever
Laserbeak drops
seen
him.
how they come down the dick chute.
This is the first.
before.
Yeah.
This is the first example. Yeah,
It's nice.
They
It's
come
an
down this
elevator.
glass elevator.
It's nice. I will say, once again, the Decepticon base is fucking baller. The Ark is obviously an open air piece of shit.
pavilion.
It is kind of fun to see the Seekers as they're coming down after Laserbeak and Sparkplug, and they just are kind of getting into it in the elevator. They're pushing around
Yeah.
like junior
In fact,
high boys.
I believe Starscream interrupts and stops in the middle of a sentence just to fight with him.
And I say that the versionary attack on the solar plant was a waste of energy. You waste more energy with your mouth. Look, Shut up.
Sparkplug, he tries to escape
By
at
hitting-
this point,
hitting
which
a
is
bunch of
pretty
buttons.
dumb. Yeah, he runs over
He's
to the
just
control
smashing
panel.
buttons.
Yeah, I don't know what he had no plan.
Well, he says one of these buttons must do something.
Yeah,
right?
but
his-
come on, you
with
were
his weird
you were
feet-
a mile underneath the ocean.
With his weird feet hands.
We are paused at 4 minutes 51 seconds, and it does look like his hands have been. The human animation in this episode is not awesome. Otherwise, I think the animation's pretty good.
But that ass though,
Yeah, it's very well.
he
defined.
got all that ass.
His butt crack goes all the way up there.
He gets immediate.
It goes.
I was slow on that one, Caleb. I'm sorry. He gets recaptured. He being Sparkplug. Sparkplug is recaptured and put back in the seat with this time with steel straps. Dr. Arkville then ejects a microchip out of his robotic arm and places it behind Sparkplug's ear.
Yeah. Kind of like
A weird place to put it.
like a nicotine patch.
Oh, is that where they put him?
No. That's where they put the patches for motion sickness. You put motion sickness patches back there. Yeah, behind the ear.
All right. Yeah, nicotine patches. I never tried them, but I believe you can put them anywhere.
Put them on your taint.
I saw that coming.
I said taint. You didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's a particularly difficult place to put it. Like it's not going to stay.
Maybe if they had a Velcro version.
Not as sweaty as my taint
If
is.
they had a Velcro version, I could just.
Velcro.
What you got?
Y'all don't have a hairy taint.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, so the joke stands.
True. All right. touche.
Gross.
Well done.
Autobot headquarters. Bumblebee is trying to cheer up Spike over his dad's kidnapping.
Yeah.
What can they do to save him? Wheeljack is working inventions, Prowl is working plans, and everyone has the cast iron manifolds to execute. Let's roll out.
We get again the classic Prime transformation right here.
Is that the exact same from last episode?
Yep.
Just placed over
It's
this.
used many times here and many times in the last episode and many times. It's a great transformation. It's very pretty.
No, the drawings are really great as well. Like it's a good drawing of Prime, a good sequence, and yeah, just seeing the way he tucks his arm into his
It's also really fast, which is good. It's cool.
Back at the Decepticon base.
This is so stupid.
Shockwave's on the scene.
Hey.
Wait a minute, Caleb. You're doing what Ryan does.
What do you mean?
Hey.
I'm the Fonz?
No.
I was thinking like a working class Jersey.
Oh.
Hey.
Tacos.
Hey. Tacos.
Forget about Jim Tan Laundry. Sorry. I just made myself giggle.
Great.
Shockwave states that everything is in readiness for Megatron's master plan. And here's what we know. From some special large cargo is going to be transported via space bridge. Shockwave tells us that the space bridge is ready or just about ready, but the delivery of this cargo is going to use up all remaining energon cubes on Cybertron, no matter, says Megatron. Dr. Arkville creeps up and he takes Megatron back to Sparkplug to show off his work. They unveil a model Optimus Prime, which Sparkplug viciously attacks. Turns out Sparkplug is now totally under Dr. Arkville's control, and perhaps has also given him superpowers.
Yeah, I know, right? He can he's strong enough. His strength goes super. He's got super strength now.
Yeah, well, listener, if you don't remember, he just picks up like this fake Optimus Prime by the thigh and like just yeets him across the room. Yeah. It's like he's made out of foam.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe it's paper mache.
Could be. It walks.
I like how Starscream is fooled. Megatron goes over, hits a button to unveil this fake clone Optimus Prime, and Starscream's like, "Oh, Optimus Prime, get ready to attack!" And like, come on, your buddy Megatron, your leader, just unveiled him. Like, it's clear that
I like
everyone
now
knows
moved into a fancy lady version of Starscream.
Right.
Oh, Optimus Prime.
I'll tell you what, if I was in the Autobot base and I saw a Decepticon walk in, that would probably be more realistic.
Yeah, but if it was introduced by... Well, I see what you're saying.
There you go.
It's just Megatron introduces it like it's no problem, and Starscream's like, oh, it's a huge fucking problem.
In the Autobot base, it would never be introduced like that. It would just be Soundwave walking in and shooting up everybody.
Right.
Oh, fuck, there's Rumble.
I don't even know where we are.
Dr. Arkville, he's getting some mind control.
He's got some mic
on.
time, too. He's got a sweet...
Or...
he wonder if he has an Audio Technica 2600 like what we're dealing with nowadays.
He's probably got a tight 5.
He's just working his routine. He's hitting the Funny Bone. He's hitting the Yuck Yuck Factory. Yeah. He's hitting Sir Laugh-A-Lots.
I want to know
his time in.
I want to know Arkville's backstory. Why is he so mad? You know what happened? How did he lose his arm?
I don't know if we.
Where does that yarmulke come from?
We do get another episode with him later.
Okay.
But I don't know that we get more backstory.
Well, we have 2 more episodes coming up with him.
Well, besides these, there's another.
He's gonna have a metal face at some point.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, Caleb. Sorry
How
about
did he
that.
get the metal face? They
He's
don't
hanging
say.
out with Dr.
You want
Doom.
the prequel like Dr. Arkville,
The college years.
the sideways
Yeah.
quest.
Let's do that.
He's just hanging out with his bros on campus, chugging beers, and
But I'm sure there's like his heart's broken, and he's like, "Fuck you," and
Yeah.
he gets mad. And he gets involved in an accident where he loses his arm,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a head injury, and he gets all that replaced. And, then
And now he has a metal heart
yes.
because it was broken.
is this a
Metaphors.
Tin Man scenario?
Absolutely. This is
This is why people listen to the Autopod Decepticast.
because of this high quality entertainment about
Yeah.
nothing.
We are let's just fuck this place and go back to Autobot headquarters.
Okay. Maybe also that whenever he throws Prime, it's like in pro wrestling where the throw really requires the assistance of the throw-e.
Yeah.
So what? That Prime helped him make it look more dramatic,
not
so
Prime.
that everybody would be
not Prime.
clone Prime,
Like they're enabling the guy. Like
so he feels more powerful than he
yes.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all bad ideas.
I love when we cut back here where Prowl drives the 20 feet to the cliff.
Okay, there's no reason that Prowl is there early.
Not really.
He's just there early, and then the rest of the Autobots catch up. Jazz, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Sunny, and they all have their assignments at this point. For obvious cultural reasons, Jazz busts a sick bar before they all just go diving into the ocean. It
Wait.
turns out that...
Are you saying Jazz is playing that music?
No, sick bars, Ryan, as we in the community understand them to be. They are rhymes. They are
I don't know that it-
rhymes as
okay.
delivered, usually by a rapper.
So you could just say he rhymes his lines.
yes,
Gotcha.
or I could say, because we're trying to appeal to the youth,
The
that
youth, the two youths.
he throws out some sick bars.
He does rhyme, which is weird. But also, the reason I asked about the music is because I love the music at this part where the people dive. It's like a remix, kind of a groovy cover of the Transformers theme.
Yeah.
Into the ocean! Let's be daring! The last one in is a rusty herring! I hope the salt water doesn't bleach my body enamel.
I think we can just say all the music in this.
It's true.
Music is one of the underappreciated strong points of this whole series. You've got the voice acting,
Yep.
you got the music,
Right.
and then you've got the animation.
I'm gonna dive into the music a little. I mean, we all can, but I want to
Nope.
make it a point to dive into the music a little bit more and kind of discuss some of these common melodies that you hear because we grew up with them, and oddly, when you hear them again after not hearing them for 30 years, you're right back in it.
Yeah.
And so
They're
rest
completely
assured at some point-
listenable outside the context of the
and
show.
so I'm going to try to do some more research on were these developed for Transformers? Were they just selected at random, or how that works?
I'm assuming they were composed
I would think.
directly for.
Because a lot of them
they're
are very
great
they're-
compositions.
There's like a theme. I don't know if theme is the right word, but they seem related.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I forget, there were themes from GI Joe. Are there themes that are there themes that are used in both GI Joe and Transformers?
In the movies, at least.
Yeah, I think we did hear some Transformers themes in
Okay.
G.I. Joe.
And I
the
think,
movie.
the third season of Transformers
Okay.
uses some.
Yeah, I mean, we each one of us has it on vinyl when
Yeah.
it came out, and I've listened to some of them, and we've got obviously we have years ahead of us now to get into
I
that.
wish you could see
Don't
the
seem
expression on
too
Caleb's,
into it.
on Caleb's face.
So
listener.
I'm kind of saving it just to give myself something to look forward to. At
Great.
some point.
Sounds good.
Save it for when you have a free weekend.
So,
So,
never.
never.
Speaking of diving in, that's what
Were
all
we?
the Autobots do. Well,
Yeah.
Caleb said he was going to
Yeah,
dive
no,
into
Dive
it.
into the music. Excellent.
I'm so excited here because for finally after we've talked about this, the Autobots finally attack the Decepticon
I agree.
base.
Yes, I have that note too.
So-
they actually do something and pull it off.
I commend them for taking the initiative to do this because it's a little overdue.
Yeah. But they have a reason to do it, right? They would not have done it if not prompted by the kidnapping of Spike's father.
Which is stupid. They should have just done it anyway.
Well, and it seems like the Decepticon base is only like a mile and a half from the
it was
Autobot
close.
base. You drive
Super
to the
close.
cliff, you jump in,
Yeah,
there it is.
Just over there.
The group that we spoke of earlier, they're going in the direct path through the ocean, but then you have Cliffjumper and Windcharger and Brawn going indirectly. They're drilling through the earth to,
Right.
and we don't know quite what the fuck they're up to.
Yeah,
yet at this point.
this is a cavalcade of special abilities here. Brawn has a drill, and out of his grill he breaks out.
That's called a grill drill.
Thank you.
Sick bar, Ryan.
Sick bar. SIC. Cliffjumper in a second uses radar, and then Windcharger is using magnetic abilities to sense where they are.
I love how anything can just pop
Yep.
out of these guys'
Al-
holes.
Yeah, I mean, although Windcharger's abilities do come back, and they are part of his profile, Windcharger has magnetic powers.
The Prime group, they approach the base. They're picked up by a scanner, which Prime fires upon.
Which the Autobot should have had a scanner as well.
Yeah. The Decepticon
Decepticons-
has better defensive,
They do.
perimeter.
And they're under the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And they still have detectors.
Prime destroys the scanner, but it doesn't matter. They were expected to arrive. Megatron is hidden behind some rocks. He blasts them from the ocean floor. A huge battle breaks out as Brawn and his boys continue to drill deeper
Right.
into the ocean from
I like this battle.
Underneath.
It's pretty cool.
I enjoy watching. It's new. It's something new.
Yeah.
They're actually outside the Decepticon base, fighting under the water, and I liked how they made a point. The animators made a point to take the color scheme and make it more monochrome, as if they're looking at them under the ocean.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah.
Sunstreaker, he chucks a missile out of his hand hole.
Yeah.
That almost hits Megatron and blows him back a spell.
Yeah, this part where Brawn finally tunnels into the ocean floor and comes up, just as a point of contention, they 100% would have just been swept back out that hole by the pressure of the ocean.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. There's a few more issues with that we would have to address before that would even be like an issue.
I don't think so.
Well, just your ability to drill underneath the earth like
Sure,
that,
right,
just
right,
to
right,
go
right.
underneath the ocean.
I was gonna say I really like Aaronisms, for example, like when I write summaries, like when Aaron says chuck a missile out of his handhole, that would be going into the summary.
It's
it
been a
will
while
be-
since you wrote a summary.
Yeah, it's because we're doing these the day before. If you'll,
Yeah, I mean,
Now you've got something to do with yourself tonight.
can you get it loaded onto the drive in time?
well, he must because I have to edit it this afternoon
It'll
and
be-
tomorrow morning.
Won't be this. Yeah.
Oh, this one
You won't
won't
be right. You've got
No, I can do
weeks.
this one.
You've got
I'll do-
weeks to write chuck a
I'll do
handle
this-
down.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. If it's the day before, it's a problem. If I have some time, then I can do it at work when no one's paying attention to me.
It's hard to tell if this is Thundercracker or Skywarp. Speaking of that whole
Especially for me.
out of a handhole, but so this guy does fire a missile, but not from his. It's one of the Seekers. He's not firing it, from
seems
his
to just
null
be
ray.
from his wrist.
It's from his wrist out of nowhere. And the fun thing about this, it goes towards Bumblebee, who jumps over it, grabs onto it, and just
Redirects
lets it propel him through the ocean.
I think
Hot
we do
flames
know
be
who it is.
damned.
I think we do know who it is because I think Bumblebee says who it is.
Oh, does he?
It's a nice move.
Hey, Thundercracker! This belonged to you?
And then he aims it back at the Seeker, who had sent it his direction. Windcharger jumps over Cliffjumper, which is kind of out of character, it seems, given his name, and he's riding Brawn's ass as Brawn continues the dig, and then he transforms, and one final little punch. The water does come in, at the very least, but to your point, Ryan, Brawn punches a hole in the rocks. There's a thin layer of rock left between the tunnel they're in and the ocean above, and he just punches a hole in it so the rest of the people can jump out. It leaks a little bit, but we know in reality it would just
It just pour
flood the
through.
tunnel,
Yes,
and
yes.
they would probably all die.
Well, they'd at very least be swept back out the
wouldn't-
hole
They wouldn't die.
opened.
Right. I guess they are robots. They don't need oxygen
Robots.
to live, but they could be.
Something could
I would assume they would be bashed along walls in such a way that would
Yes.
cause plenty of danger. Let me see.
This is the point where Cliffjumper uses his glass gas gun.
That's right. They enter Decepticon headquarters. Honestly, I do like this little sort of
it's
heist.
It is a good little
rescue
plan where it's
plan.
like there's the
There's a
battle.
distraction.
Yep, is the distraction, and then the B team is coming in here to save Sparkplug. Like honestly, it's action packed. The animation's good. The schemes are complicated, but not totally stupid. Although the whole plan of rescuing Sparkplug is hold your breath, which I don't understand why.
It's also cold down there.
Yeah, real cold. How far do you think they're down? Because I'm guessing 100 feet.
I would say much more than that.
You think so?
I'd say it's an Olympic-sized swimming pool depth.
Well, that's only like 20
you
feet.
See the,
Yep.
You see the pictures. I mean, of the size of things. Like they're down there. Like
I was just kidding.
Oh. Well, I kept waiting for them to bring out like a tank to put him in, or like for one of them to put him inside their body.
yes, put them inside themselves.
Yeah, but no.
And then
it's
just drive up to the
hold your breath.
surface.
Which, I mean, to their credit, it's not. If Sparkplug can hold his breath and survive the cold and the pressure, it's not a bad plan because there are like free divers that go that deep to get the.
They've had experience.
Exactly.
Sparkplug's gonna die of the bends.
No,
We're a little bit ahead of
won't.
ourselves here. What's happened is the
He should.
no, you don't get the bends unless you're breathing compressed air. If you hold your breath, that's why free divers don't get the bends.
Understood.
If you hold your breath, that you're not absorbing extra nitrogen.
I did not know that.
Yep. I researched it because I said the same thing. I'm like, he'd totally get the fucking bends. And I'm like, oh, that's not. Yeah,
But
as
is
long
there
as you're
is
not-
it perhaps there's not compressed air within Decepticon headquarters? And also, why would there be oxygen in Decepticon headquarters that he could breathe to begin with as a captive of theirs?
True.
Well, because they have captives and they have Dr. Arkeville here.
Oh yeah, they got it. They have the.
Do you think they
piston-
spent billions of energon dollars to rig their whole Decepticon headquarters underneath the sea so that Dr. Arkeville could come hang out with them?
Sure.
Where did they meet Dr. Arkeville? Were they surfing the
never
internet
clear.
for
Yeah,
evil humans?
There you go.
Well, like
Yeah.
Caleb said, he wants the
I want
backstory.
the backstory. How did this all come to be?
The little guys break into the headquarters. They cut a hole that just Starscream just happens to be standing on. He falls into the ocean. Everybody else jumps in. Never mind you that just like with the tunnel, if this were to happen, this whole area in the Decepticon headquarters would become flooded with water as well.
Yeah, unless they were pressurized with an airlock, yeah.
But they hop in, they grab Sparkplug and jump out. It's a pretty quick operation, honestly. They're in and out. I do respect that. And that's it. They're done. They retreat. Everybody gets the word that mission accomplished, and they retreat back to Autobot headquarters.
Yeah, and it's like the Decepticons do take advantage of this. Dr. Arkeville's like, yeah, it's fine. He's my... They keep using the word slave, which is kind of upsetting in this, but it seems like the Decepticons didn't want him to be rescued, but they take advantage of the fact he was rescued.
Or was it a setup?
I don't think so.
Do
That
you
would
not-
be
I mean, they're
very
playing chess, man.
complicated.
Autobots are checkers.
4D
Decepticons
chess?
are chess. Well, I don't know. It seems to make sense because now you've got an inside guy.
Now, I
At
feel
Autobot
like it
headquarters.
it happened to be a serendipitous thing that they ended up using.
So we go back to Autobot headquarters. It's weird how Sparkplug is such a catch that they have to go get him again.
Well, oh, you mean the
Let's
Decepticons?
continue here. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
So we're back at Autobot headquarters at this time. Sparkplug is saved.
I just said right.
Oh, okay.
It just seemed like you were getting ready for something.
Ratchet is repairing some of our auto bros here, and Sparkplug is helping him too, but something is fucked up about him that we don't quite understand. He keeps trying to repair random robots that are just fine, including Optimus Prime and Ratchet. He's also belligerent and easily offended. It's all weird enough, but then out of nowhere comes the Decepticon surprise attack on the base.
Yes. Before, go ahead, Caleb.
Sorry.
No,
I was
go
just going to say, like, I have children, and this part's difficult for me because when I see how Sparkplug is treating Spike, it hit home to me because sometimes when I get stressed and busy, I will sometimes I have to work at not treating my kid in a way that's dismissive, you know, like out of my way, must work kind of deal, you know, and so
They interpret that very differently.
I'm
than
sure it'll
you
be
do.
addressed in therapy in 10 or 15 years.
Sure, I'm sure it will. But anyway, I just thought that that theme in here is particularly powerful for me because of how.
That's interesting. It made you reflect on your own behavior.
Of course. Yeah.
I will. Yes, I don't have children, but I will say the way that like Sparkplug, like some of the lines he delivers, as a son, having the idea of that your father behaving this way it was a little emotional. Of like that's really dark. And
Yes.
like,
It's
upsetting.
It's very dark and upsetting. And then to be a person that has a kid, it makes you be like, I really need to like focus on engaging my kid, and making sure that I realize, what is important, like out of my way must work, and not getting caught up in things.
I do
and
like the
really-
idea that you've said this specific line, out of my way must work.
No, I mean,
So robotically.
Yes.
And I also picture you shoving Kenny to the ground as
there's no
As you
physical. I made a point to
you're
where
walking down the hallway. You just shove Kenny into a wall.
there's no
Out of way
there's
must
no,
work.
There's no physical. No, I'm not. There's no physical there. It's a.
People don't know what Kenny looks like, but he's the most adorable
very
child in all of history, and
he's a
and you're
good-looking kid.
abusing him
Okay. Wow.
for work.
Shots that are not true.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm just saying I'm a good dad, but you got to be. But even the best dads, you got to kind of keep some things in check sometimes, and a lot of that's being distracted by other things where you should be focusing on your kids. And I think that is a theme that is in this episode that should be paid attention to.
Have you ever had your mind taken over by an evil genius, though?
Just me.
I would say that this podcast has taken my mind
Out of my
over.
way, must work, must watch Transformers for podcasts.
Don't play with those toys. No, those are special toys. Those are masterpiece toys. No, you just got to look at them. You can't play with them.
I have to say that so often to people, the kids that come over.
I know, right?
Don't play with those.
I'm the evil person.
And how do you
You're
feel about that? You're telling a child that they can't play with a toy.
right. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel that bad about
Yeah, I
it.
wouldn't feel bad at all.
It's not
It's
that
not
big a deal.
yours. That doesn't belong to you.
Yeah, never mind. I have so many stories. I have so many stories of me trying to either keep kids out of my office or telling kids to get out of my office. I don't, but then it's too late. By the time they see it,
Do you know how awesome your office looks to a kid?
of course,
It's amazing.
it has
And
to
then
be
for
awesome.
them to walk in.
has to
Yeah.
be.
Well, that's why I try to keep them out to begin with. I don't.
Well, what are they doing wandering in here?
I leave the door open. We
Well,
have
shut the
dinner
fucking
parties.
door.
We have dinner parties and family and shit over there. Like, I mean, if I can get ahead of it, I shut the door. But here's the thing. I don't have a lock on this door either. And kids just wander. Kids
Yeah.
just fucking
Sure.
wander. And the door can be shut and they'll come on in. And then they'll
And then it's too
then
late.
and then before you know it, a little Filipino kid marches upstairs with your $500 Optimus Prime in his hand. And he's like, "This is neat."
It
and you're
is.
like,
Out of my way.
Out of my way must work. There you go. See, we just had a connection.
No, it struck me through this conversation. It's very interesting that the three of us, cover the spectrum of child interaction, in that you have your natural born nuclear family. You just need a girl, you, Caleb, who I'm pointing at. And I am a stepfather with two wonderful, amazing, talented stepdaughters. And Ryan is like this the bachelor just swinging on the
Freewheeling. I
times,
got chickens and a dog
Yeah.
and a living girlfriend.
for now.
Caleb knows. He saw her last night.
She lives.
A lot of
It's not a hostage situation.
No, not at all.
yeah. How'd you do that?
No, let's not go back to what you were saying. Something really deep.
Oh,
No. No,
running the gamut
it
of
wasn't
all.
that deep.
We
Just
have-
that we run the complete gamut of, as far as the only thing we're missing is adoption.
It's true.
Ryan.
Are you ready? But if he adopts, then we need to bring in another guy who's got
who doesn't
nothing.
have kids.
Right.
Ernie.
So I'm just saying,
Ernie, you're on. You've always been on, Ernie. Ernie, you're on deck.
If anything, if anything sticks out to me in this mini series, or whatever you want to call it, is Spike's dynamic with his father in these episodes. That's all.
It is tender.
Yeah.
And you can feel the emotion of it.
I'm going to bring Bro Cells in here for an episode, by the way.
I'm
You've
down.
mentioned this, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it. He wants to do it.
He needs to watch an episode. We'll watch the cartoon and be ready to
We'll
comment.
watch it ahead of time.
Okay.
We'll do that.
We did. We talked about this last night, actually, about doing that, and that we can work PG.
I am completely down for a Bro Cells
Okay.
episode.
I-
Maybe multiples.
I think it'll be really interesting to see what he has to say as a
Is it-
child watching a cartoon.
For children, yeah.
Do we call him Bro Cells? Is that his name? Is that his
Yeah, you can call him
Handle.
you can call him his normal name. We'll see.
normal name?
Archibald.
Yeah.
I call him Archie.
If I had a boy, his name would be Oleander.
We'll see. The thing is, we'll ask him what he wants to be called.
What was the word that you used to describe dill?
Picadillo.
Picadillos?
Very picadillo of you.
I don't want a boy. I want all girls, but I have like 6 girl names.
Moving on.
So you paused it here, Doctor. Whenever Sparkplug is trying to fix Autobots who don't need fixed, Dr. Arkerville comes on and goes,
No slave. Fix only the Autobots who are injured.
"No, slave. Fix only the Autobots who are injured," which made me think of the Mr. Show skit where it's called Progressive Priest, where there's this, like, David Cross plays this dickhead who comes in. He's like, I better I'm going to bet you I can eat all the butts in this
Oh, I know what you're
ashtray.
talking
Give me
about.
a cigarette. Like, you owe me a cigarette. And then he eats glass. And then Bob Odenkirk, who's playing a priest, is like honor bound to be his slave. And the only thing that made me think of it is there's a line where David goes, "No, not like that, slave.
Yeah.
Do it like this."
No, slave, not like that. I want you to take that banana and stick it in your butt crack.
That's my compulsory Mr. Show reference. Does anybody get that?
If you were cool and hip in the 90s, perhaps you understand this story. Ryan, I do remember that sketch. That David Cross does. Nobody can do annoying guy better than David Cross.
That is kind of a lot of his characters in that show.
To where I thought you were going with
Okay.
this, Dr. Arkaville commanding his slave Sparkplug to repair only the broken Autobots seems weird and counterintuitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Manipulate all of them.
Yeah, I would say
guess he's
fuck more with the Autobots
It's
that aren't.
weird.
It's a weird thing to maybe try not to draw attention to yourself was what I got out of it.
I guess, which makes it feel like more of a plant. And also, what camera is Dr. Arkaville plugged into?
He's tapped into Teletran 1.
We're paused at 11:16.
Yeah,
Dr.
it's all
Arkaville has a
stupid.
very clear view of Ratchet repairing Sunstreaker, and I believe that's Sparkplug walking away. So it's not like
think so,
Sparkplug
yeah.
has a camera in his helmet. Somehow he's dialed into some internal cameras at Autobot headquarters.
Wouldn't surprise me.
We can dissect this all day long. At this point, the Decepticons are going to attack.
They're just
Autobot
here.
headquarters.
They just show up. There's not even
Yeah.
a musical sting to let us know that they show up.
They just show up.
And
they
all-
know where they are.
And to your point, Caleb, there's a big fucking hole in the Autobot base. They just walk through.
yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Prime gets a
Yeah,
shot
they just
by
a big
Megatron
fucking hole.
right into the right side of his chest.
Where's that hole? Wait a minute. Where's the hole come from?
That could be the hole that the Dinobots knocked into the side
It
of the
could
wall
be.
back when they were first introduced.
They haven't fixed
several
the hole
episodes.
yet?
They have other things to do, like
Ironhide
snowball
can
fights.
shoot molten metal out of his wrists,
Right.
but he can't
there was
spackle up this
no
wall.
explosion. They
Nope.
walk through an open hole.
Yep.
I hate the Autobots.
The
They
Autobots
are
just live in
idiots.
this destitute base.
What the fuck?
It really is like somebody who bought a house that was like kind of nice. It was small, but then they live in it for like 25 years, but do no repairs to it. And
Yeah.
it just slowly deteriorates into a shithole.
Maybe they're just not handy.
I mean, Wheeljack's an inventor. Ratchet's a doctor.
You
Come
know,
on.
and Sparkplug's
Sparkplug
an
and-
oil
That's-
worker.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice that before. That's infuriating.
So the Decepticons very easily
Walk in.
walk into Autobot base, as they've already done previously in this episode, but just through a different orifice this time. The Autobots get up to take shit out, but none of their weapons work.
Oh, no.
And the base is getting overrun. Spike flees. He he trips over a wrench.
This is fucking ridiculous.
His dad's wrench, and he realizes that Sparkplug must have used it to sabotage Teletran and enable the surprise attack. Are we also to believe that Sparkplug made the Autobots' weapons not work?
Yes, I think that's what he was doing.
Right.
When he was.
That's
like,
why he was
repairing
working on
them.
all the Autobots. So
Right.
it's counterintuitive for Dr. Arkville to tell him
To
not
tell him to
work
stop
on
it because he's
he's
doing
actually
things
the
that
right
benefit
thing.
them.
Exactly.
Also, I refuse to believe he tripped over a wrench. That's impossible.
No, that's yeah. I
He
don't.
does that thing where you trip over nothing and then you look back at it balefully, like you're upset at the floor.
It's a daisy.
Right.
Anyway, he realizes it's his dad's wrench. He understands that Sparkplug must have sabotaged everything. He confronts him, and he tries to regain control of his dad, but Dr. Arkville, as he notices that Sparkplug is kind of like getting his senses a little bit, Dr. Arkville,
Right.
he cranks it up to 11.
Yep.
That control that he's got over him. And
Spike gets a fucking backhand.
yeah, Sparkplug, he's in full Decepticon control.
Messed up.
He what? Not to 50. I'm mixing all the metaphors
All
here.
the old movies.
You know, we haven't done a Princess Bride one.
Are you sure? Well, I guess we know what next episode is.
Let's talk about it for 5 minutes so then I can be sure to include it.
The pit of despair. Don't have.
Excuse me.
Don't even think about it.
Actually, I already have a Christmas intro, so you guys will be.
okay.
Yeah, and it won't be Princess, or I should say holiday intro. So it won't be Princess Bride themed. The Decepticons are about to finish up the Autobots, but good. And Spike activates a fire retardant from
okay.
Teletran's controls.
I was just going to say, I thought Spike was going to fix a portion of Teletran 1 because he has this wrench, but no, he just opens up a computer panel and throws it into it, and that makes Teletran 1 freak out. It just throws it in there.
It disappears.
So he throws it in, and that makes Teletran 1
He literally threw a wrench.
chuck a fire retardant upon the Decepticons, which apparently it has some circuitry shorting powers that will cause permanent damage if the Decepticons don't break out, which is what they do at this point. But it doesn't do anything to the Autobots.
Yeah.
Are the Autobots impervious to the foam?
I do. I'm even going to give a license to the ridiculous idea that retardant foam somehow hurts them and doesn't hurt the Autobots, but Skywarp is a straight up psychopath right here. The Autobots' weapons don't work or the Decepticons' weapons don't work because of the foam, and Skywarp goes,
Fire retardant foam! Our circuitry's been shorted out. My weapon! Can't we just bash him to pieces?
I just love it. The other one is Sparkplug's line whenever Spike tries to stop him, where basically he says,
Come, join me and rule!
Dad, you're not like the Decepticons.
Then you will fight against your own father. When next we meet, we are enemies.
Yeah. That was, I thought, pretty haunting.
Yeah, it's fucked up. That father, that dynamic going on between Sparkplug and Spike is messed.
It was
up.
really well delivered. Like the actor who does Sparkplug, I thought the thing he does here is very good.
There is mind control over him, but he
Sure.
also still knows that
Right.
he has a son,
right.
and he knows that son has
Right.
conflicting ideals from him,
Right.
at least in this mind
Which
controlled
makes
state.
it even worse.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's trying to recruit him,
Come with me, son.
and his son's like, "No, Dad, come on, snap out of this."
No. When next we meet,
We are enemies.
we're enemies.
Wow. Well,
So that was weird.
frowny face emoji. Yeah. We're not through this episode yet. It feels like we should be done, but we're not.
Exactly.
Oh.
Hang on, I'm backing it up.
This is weird where we see, as soon as we come back, we see Starscream land in jet mode and then transform, which was kind of jarring. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it's I didn't like it.
No, it doesn't look good.
This is where Megatron, now that we're back from commercial, we see that they're building some kind of, giant technological contraption, and Megatron unveils the ruse to Doc Ock here, which is that this space bridge that they're building is going to bring Cybertron to Earth.
This is actually a great plan.
It's a good scheme.
Like, completely serious. Like, yeah, it's good.
The Doc, at the revelation of Cybertron coming to Earth, he's shitting bricks now.
Right.
The gravitational tug of war between these two planets is going to create a lot of energy, but at the expense of Earth, what is he going to rule over?
Right. A piece of shit.
Just a destroyed planet.
He'll figure it out. We go to Autobot headquarters. The boys are cleaning the foam from the floor of the Ark and trying to fix Teletran 1. Sky Spy is back in action, and it reveals to the Autobots that part of this plan that's happening on with the Decepticons is this whole space bridge thing. But why does it exist? Got to go investigate.
Yep. Do it.
There are in some of the Hasbro and Marvel Productions interior memos that I mentioned. They're on the that Google Drive. It talks about how they were going to get the Cybertron, like interaction between Cybertron and Earth, which it does confirm in the memos. Cybertron has been established as being in another distant galaxy, which is very weird. Which means it's outside the Milky Way. I think they might be using galaxy interchangeably with star system.
Yes. I agree.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Which is like the other idea they had was to make Cybertron like less of a planet and more of a spacecraft, i.e., like the Death Star in Star Wars, and bring it to Earth orbit opposite the sun. And then their second idea was the space bridge.
I'm glad that they went the way they went.
Yeah.
On Cybertron, Shockwave reports that the space bridge is completed, and just as Megatron is ready to get to transporting, the Autobots show up. To keep Optimus Prime from attacking, they open a door to reveal dozens of human slaves,
Right.
including Sparkplug. All of them are Dr. Alcazar's puppets.
Yep. Shit.
The only thing I had next was like whenever Prime starts chasing Megatron, he steps over the lines of humans, but because of the animation, it kind of looks like he just runs
kicks them.
right through
Right.
them.
I like that it's just this cube of a building that they're
Yeah,
in.
just an outbuilding.
At least they gave him an air conditioner up top here. They're keeping him cool.
Humans like ventilation. Yep, there they are.
They're all wearing the same outfit. The only difference is Sparkplug's
Sparkplug.
shirt is open.
Because he's got to get them tits out.
But everybody else are just kind of Sparkplug facsimiles. They're walking out. They've got tiny, beady pupils. Megatron knows that Prime can't attack. These literal human shields are going to prevent him from really going at it. But actually, Prime just runs right at him.
Yeah, just
and
jumps
to
over.
your point, he jumps over them, but it
Kinda.
really looks like he walks through them. Spike tries to make contact with Sparkplug, but at this point, the humans, they just kind of go into full riot mode. They all have sticks that appear in their hands, or they get them from nearby trees. They pick up rocks, and the humans are just full on attacking the Autobots with sticks and rocks.
Yep, sticks and stones.
Wheeljack's trying to
Like
get
clank,
away.
Clank, clank, clank. Like,
The image of Sparkplug beating B in the head with a branch is very funny.
Sparkplug attacks Bumblebee, but Spike intercedes at this point. There's a few comforting words that Spike delivers that start to override the brainwashing, but a fresh jolt from Dr. Alcatraz and Sparkplug. Sparkplug's back to being the mayor of Douchetown here, and don't call me father.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, another rough line.
button.
He ditches Spike. He throws him to the side, and he runs off to activate. There's many pylons. That need
They
to
have
be
to activate
activated.
these
Yeah.
3 pylons to bring Cybertron in. And I think Shockwave says here that if they're not activated, it will destroy Cybertron.
I must have missed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me hear.
That
him.
becomes that's the point. That's why Optimus has to.
Okay, to me, there's no reason for
Yeah,
Optimus to
Optimus
believe.
activates the third pylon.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
to.
but my thought on it was
Entering final countdown phase. If energy pylons are not operational, Cybertron will be catapulted into oblivion.
Yeah.
Right there. There you go.
yeah. All right, well that mixed me up because I thought when Megatron was telling Prime that he has to do it or Cybertron will be destroyed, I thought he was just making that up.
No,
no.
no, it's like
So my
for
bad.
real. Like Prime had to make a choice between Earth and Cybertron, and
we'll get to it.
and I like Shockwave saying "catapulted into oblivion." I like that. I like that line. That's
I
my
like your
favorite
delivery
line.
of it.
Yeah.
Whenever Sparkplug climbs up on this, Sparkplug activates the first pylon. When he climbs up on it, a small audio note, his footsteps sound like Transformer footsteps. They're not human footsteps.
Yeah.
Thundercracker goes to activate pylon number 2, and then Megatron makes his way toward pylon number 3, but Prime's giant hand grabs his ankle. Megatron kips Prime in the head and continues his climb. And it reminds me, can't Megatron fly?
Yep. I have that note too. I think he's just being extra and wants to heighten the drama. Also, though, this whole thing is very weird. There should have been some dialogue there between Prime and Megatron, because the last audio we heard was from Sparkplug activating the pylon, and between that and the next time we hear audio, they have this fight, and it is 45 seconds without any like dialogue being spoken. Prime eventually says, as the Earthlings say, "Fat chance, Fathead," in reference to activating the last pylon.
Prime is like, I'm going to stop you. And Megatron says, well, in fact, you're not going to stop me. In fact, you're going to do my work for me, and you're going to activate this thing. Because if you don't, Cybertron's going to be torn to pieces. And Prime is like, well, let's just listen.
Fat chance, Fathead. If you don't, you will be responsible for Cybertron's destruction. Destruction? But there are still many inhabitants, friends on Cybertron. Then make your choice, Optimus Prime.
This part was amazing.
Very well, Megatron. You win.
Yeah, and
So
go ahead.
Optimus says, "Fat chance, Fathead." Megatron says, "On the contrary," and I cannot believe what Optimus does next.
Well, I can defend it. I thought that was pretty amazing, where like Megatron forces Prime to choose between protecting Earth and saving his homeworld. So because it's like very psychologically fucked up to make him do that, but also like I think Prime's decision is the correct one, because bringing Cybertron to Earth will cause catastrophe on Earth, but maybe they can stop it, reverse it, and fix it. Alternatively, if you don't do it, 100% Cybertron is destroyed. So you can maybe mitigate the damage to Earth, but you can't mitigate the damage to Cybertron without bringing
But people on Earth will definitely die in the process.
Yes, but everyone on Cybertron would die otherwise.
Well, but Earth doesn't have anything to do with your stupid war with Cybertron. So
It's
why
that
punish,
whole
why
question,
punish Earthlings?
It's that whole moral question of like, if you're on a trolley and you can save 5 people or 1 person by switching tracks, who do you kill?
It's not like that. Because in that situation, you identify and relate with any of those people potentially. In this situation, you've got Cybertron who brought their shit to Earth. Earth is doing its own thing. Basically, Prime is saying that to whatever degree, saving my people is more important than keeping Earth people safe, when in fact, Earth has nothing to do with their struggle.
Sure,
So-
but the Autobots didn't bring it there. That's not their fault. They're trying to do. I think Prime is trying to do the most good with the terrible decision he has. I think it's completely defensible.
From the standpoint of I guess, presuming Cybertron has as many lives on it as Earth.
That probably isn't true,
but presumably save the most total lives, maybe. I would argue that fuck your stupid robotic lives. You came here, that we got nothing to do with you. If Prime is truly noble, I would think that he would put the Earthlings' lives before any of the Cybertronian lives.
And if you catapult Cybertron into oblivion, it takes any desire of the Decepticons away, undermines everything that they're trying to do.
well, except that now they're going to just try to take over Earth.
Yeah, with the Autobots would then deal
incompetently try to keep them from doing that.
Because all they're basically trying to do now is get back to Cybertron. I guess we'll never agree.
Perhaps not.
It's tough.
I just feel like it's potential devastation versus 100% annihilation.
No, it feels like a little bit of everybody gets to die, and I would
It's true.
argue that if you're Optimus Prime and you're truly that noble, no human deserves to die. Period. Over this bullshit.
right.
So
I disagree.
What doesn't matter? Immediately, the space bridge opens up. Cybertron
Here she
starts
come.
starts to come into it in a very dubious display of scale and magnitude
All madness.
of events.
Makes no fucking sense.
But Cybertron goes from being smaller than the Earth's moon to
well, we don't know how far away
Giant.
it is.
you
You can't tell from scale in space.
Yeah, I don't want to
But
get too wrapped
the
up
fact that
into
the two things are in the same frame does give you a sense of scale.
No, it doesn't, because you
Sure
can't
it
see
does.
distance. You have no idea how far Cybertron is from Earth in that picture.
We know the size of Earth. I think a talented astronomer could take that image and
100%
calculate
not.
how big Cybertron is and how far it is from Earth.
No, you would have to have a third reference point.
Your third reference point is the wind and the atmospheric activity that comes off.
That
of,
has nothing to do with what it looks like.
What do you mean?
Well, for these reactions, like in this picture, you can't tell how far Cybertron is away from the Earth.
I think you can.
You can say that, but it's not true.
I think you can do calculations.
You
from
could
some
if
of
it
the
were
environmental
real, but in a
activity.
picture you can't. Anyway, we're getting way deep in.
Cybertron is here.
Yep.
Megatron is celebrating like crazy, and at this point, Optimus Prime ponders: have I saved Cybertron only to destroy
Great
the
line.
Earth?
Probably. I don't think the Earth's going to live through this.
No, we're probably done. Spike, he's gonna die. Megatron, he wins. Way to go. Way to be smart. Way to be better.
I think it's cool, though, that Cybertron's right there.
That's the end of the episode, by
Yep.
the way.
That's it.
New character, Maharaja, but he was voiced by none other than Don Messick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember Don Messick? He
No,
was in our
I
voice
remember the
actor
name.
trivia.
Yes.
And then Dr. Arkaville was voiced by
Casey
Casey
Kasem.
There was a lot, just from a general animation. The animation wasn't bad in this episode. There was a lot of big hands.
I
don't
didn't
know if
notice that.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yes.
just giant hands.
This is a kickoff of like one of their first, like what do you call this? Like a series,
Miniseries. It's a
Miniseries?
miniseries.
Yeah.
Since the first one, yeah.
right?
It's
so
a
they're
three-parter.
going to bring some big guns back into this.
And big hands.
Big
Yeah.
guns, big hands.
Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
how about, do you know anything that's going on?
I do. I'm glad you asked. Okay. The Ultimate Doom Part 1 aired, like you said, Aaron, November 3rd, 1984, and the American Top 40.
Now we're up to the new #1 song in the USA. It's by a man who has a slight problem. You see, he can't get the title of his song right. In concert, he keeps singing one of the words in the title wrong. And there are only 2 words in the title. It happens whenever he comes to the chorus of this smash hit. When it was first written, the title of this song was European Queen. And that's the way it was recorded and released in Europe. The singer, Billy Ocean, at the request of his American label, also recorded a version where the word European was changed to Caribbean. And that's the version that was released here in the USA. Only problem is, when he's performing live, Billy sometimes forgets about that change. He says, once I start singing European Queen, I usually put in American Queen, African Queen, and so on. Well, whatever her address, the queen that Billy sings about has taken him to the top. The new #1 song in the land is by Billy Ocean. Not European, not American, not African, but Caribbean Queen.
Another one of my all-time favorite 80s hits, Billy Ocean's Caribbean Queen.
Nice.
Also the subject of another excellent Mr. Show skit.
What was the Mr. Show sketch?
The unfortunate one where Bob Odenkirk's in brownface. Where they're in a hate group, and they have a van. They're going to play Caribbean Queen really loud. They can't agree on what to do.
Man, that one doesn't seem familiar to me. I need to rewatch Mr. Show entirely.
#1 at the movies was Terminator. We covered this one before. There was one that Caleb had to jump off of. Have you listened to that episode, Caleb?
Yeah, I had to do the summary for it.
I don't think any of those statements are true.
Why?
Did you do the summary for that one?
Yes.
All right. So we talked about that pretty much. James Cameron got the idea of giving Arnold Schwarzenegger even fewer lines in the film than Schwarzenegger's earlier film Conan the Barbarian from 1982. Schwarzenegger in that film had 24 lines. In Terminator, Schwarzenegger has 14.
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess Cameron was just like, this will be interesting. There was actually a plan for the Liquid Terminator in the first film, but the effects weren't really there, and Cameron didn't have the clout or budget to do it. And so it was going to be a team up between the Liquid Terminator and a human from the past that comes forward. Yeah, and it was just some like trivia from that.
Did James Cameron write the Terminator?
He did, I believe.
He has the writing credit.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Well, I'm glad they flipped it up.
I agree.
Oh yeah, 100%. On the cover of TV Guide was a painting of a bald eagle and the caption "Tales of Election Night Drama."
Because of the Reagan-Mondale election.
Yes, it was Ronald Reagan and the unfortunate Vice President Walter Mondale of Jimmy Carter, who lost every state except for his home state of Michigan. But in the stupidest way possible, because the Electoral College, so choice, because like Reagan only won 59% of the popular vote, but carried 97% of the states, which
Right.
is so stupid.
Right.
Like the Electoral College is ridiculous.
Right.
Anyway, so glad our country's come so far.
It has its merits.
I disagree.
This is the place to debate it. The Mondale election was also unique in that was that not the first
Geraldine Ferraro.
Thank you for putting it out there.
I'm
That's
sorry.
where I was going.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's all.
The first female vice president. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, you should be sorry
All right.
for her and for me.
Well, they lost, so yeah.
Guys, do you have?
Wow. Unprecedented.
I'm a little
It's been
tipsy.
a while since we got to this level.
I'm a little tipsy. How are you guys feeling?
I'm
I feel fine.
I had a couple bonus glasses
Aha.
of rum.
No.
How did you guys feel about the scheme in this episode?
I think it was a huge success for one
So
thing.
far, I mean,
not only did
One third of the way in.
not only did Megatron accomplish what he was wanting to do, he actually had Optimus complete it for him.
That was a
With
great
Optimus saying, "You win."
So much demoralizing with
Yeah.
the, with
I'm
the
gonna give
spark
it a-
plug hypnotizing.
I'm gonna give it a. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna give it a 10
yeah.
because that's probably at this point it's probably the most satisfying thing that Megatron has experienced up to this point.
I mean, the planning and strategy that went into it.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10 just for wiggle room. But like, yeah, it's like
Sure.
so broad and like sweeping. And also the Autobots have a scheme that they actually pull off in this one too.
Yes, they do.
They do, and I would call it more of a scheme than a plan. I don't know what's better.
What's the
I mean, they're
difference?
basically like, let's go rescue this guy.
Right.
They have an
I'm-
objective.
I'm glad they
that
finally go do
accomplish,
something. They finally go do something.
but they're still playing checkers.
Now,
Yep, I agree.
just as a small science point, the fact that Earth is clearly getting ravaged so hard already by Cybertron, the equal and opposite reaction would be true on Cybertron. But granted, we don't know how Cybertronian geology works.
Yeah,
It's true.
we don't.
So that's
Let's talk more about the relationship between Cybertron and Earth and how far they are from each other.
I think you can tell from a picture.
We can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know, I did have an iconic moment, which is that scene at the end of Cybertron entering Earth's atmosphere. I remember as a kid being really stressed out by that and very impressed by
Just
it.
running through the house. No!
Yeah. But seeing it as an adult caused me to really lose all respect for the younger version of me because that scene is animated poorly.
It's the
I
clouds.
guess it's effectively enough, but it doesn't look great.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. The clouds in particular gathering around Cybertron look silly.
I don't lose respect for my young self in that situation. I mean, I can't put what I know now on what I knew then as an 8-year-old.
You got to put it on there.
No,
You have to constantly be judging your past and
based on my
hating
experience now?
yourself for
Sure.
it.
Okay,
Yeah, Caleb, you're not living life right.
obviously.
All right, this teleplay was by Larry Strauss, who, in speaking about writing for TV, said, "I gave up after a few years when I told the producer of Transformers that we had been tagged as the third most violent children's television program, and the producer said he would not be satisfied until we were number 1 on that list."
Nice.
And then he's like, "I fucking quit."
Well,
Yeah.
way to take a stand, but also
So
I respect the producer's position as well.
I do too.
I respect anybody who takes a position, I guess.
Well, that's terrible. That's a terrible way of thinking. So, okay, in the script, when described, this is to your point of you guys giving me shit, even though it was heightened. In the script, when describing the Maharaja, it says a brown-skinned man in a turban and robes.
Yeah, they changed it to white.
A white-skinned dude with red hair.
I'm a little behind on my Hindu and just general culture of India. A turban is associated with Sikh culture, as I understand. Not every, and
Sure.
so turbans are really only Sikhs. Can Sikhs be Maharaja? Does that all? How does that all intertwine?
I didn't do the research. on
Indian
that.
listeners, let us know.
I don't know. The Jasmine's father wears a turban.
Probably a Sikh.
I couldn't say. I didn't do the research.
All right.
As the Autobots are skiing toward the power plant, Wheeljack says, "Are we sure there are Decepticons around here?" To which Prowl says, "Only one way to find out. It's called looking."
I like
Which
that
I thought was a
line.
very Caleb response.
I like that line actually.
Instead of the weird lasso thing that Prime does to catch the Maharaja, Skywarp threw the dude through the hole in the building, and Prime catches him and puts him on the ground, which seems way better. Like that makes way more sense.
I agree.
Maybe they needed to not. I wonder if there was a mandate to not commit specific acts of violence against human characters.
Well,
that
not if this producer's to be believed.
Well, what I'm saying is it's more like they didn't do anything. They just grabbed the guy and then Prime saved him out of Skywarp or Thundercracker's hands. But in your situation, though, he would have thrown him.
I mean, they
It's all
cripple an
speculative.
oil rig and it set it on fire in the first episode.
Yeah, but nobody's really been like pulling humans apart or doing anything that's truly physically strenuous to humans other than kidnapping them or like nobody's like actually injuring them.
So the fact that the tapes, to your point, Caleb, can so easily penetrate into the Ark is explained in a deleted scene from the script where Teletran 1 is offline so Ratchet can make maintenance repairs.
Okay.
In a weird detail, in this script, when Rumble is causing the quake in the Ark, he's hanging upside down from the ceiling.
Nice. Makes no sense.
Nope, makes absolutely no sense. This episode was awarded the Film Advisory Board Award of Excellence in the FHE VHS release.
Oh.
Which would mean something if it didn't mean nothing, because this award does not denote the quality of the product, just means it's good for kids.
Okay.
Who gives the award?
The Film Advisory Board.
Hasbro.
There are awards out there that are basically dumb bullshit industry awards. Like they're awards ceremonies put on by vendors who will award the people who they sell to be like, this is the most innovative product of the year, and we give this award to you, person who coincidentally bought
All of them.
$20 million worth of this product from us.
It's arguable all awards are bullshit.
I mean, some things
Burn it
aren't.
down.
Some things aren't subjective.
Shutter the CCs.
Things you can track and with data aren't subjective. But
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
the Earth starts to feel the repercussions of Cybertron's proximity while Dr. Arkaville wishes he's lost his virginity. Don't know
That's
what
a
I was
great
thinking
line.
when I wrote that.
I feel like you were in the same state of mind as right now.
That's good.
That was good.
Visit the Autopod Decepticast store, Autobot Army Cup. There's a poster. He'll recruit you. Buy
Nice
it.
stuff.
Hey, it's on sale.
Starscream.
On sale for $10. Let's not forget the Starscream Pathetic Fools poster. High quality paper, high quality image.
High quality money.
It's beautiful. All of the work that we have on our store is conceptualized, illustrated, and designed by
We do
the
all the
Autopod Decepticast.
It's all in-house, baby.
Please continue to listen and subscribe to the show. Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, tune in. I keep forgetting to put Spotify on my list here. Whatever your platform of choice is, chances are we're out there because people are grabbing it and putting it out on these like grubby ass.
So the weird like third-party channels.
I
Very
don't
strange.
understand
I don't
how
either.
anybody makes money off of that. Guys, please continue to listen to this show on whatever format we're on. Podcast, Stitcher, YouTube, whatever it
this
is.
already.
Hey, why don't you leave us a review, especially if you're one of those Apple podcast people that we can easily
Apple Podcast,
track.
5 stars, please.
And you can leave it on Stitcher
Also,
too. You can put it.
you could leave it on
You
Stitcher.
can review
Also,
Stitcher. Some people
hey,
might forget about it.
If you've left a review and we haven't mentioned it, DM us on Twitter. That William Zane guy should have hit us up before now to let us know it was 11 months ago.
I know. I can't believe he listens. Hopefully he's still listening.
Oh God, fingers crossed.
And not mad that we took so long to acknowledge him. But also, particularly international listeners, we can't track with any sort of ease international reviews on iTunes. So if you're an international listener and you've left us an international review on iTunes, please let us know. And we do have the ability to look it up once we have the knowledge, but just to keep track of it is not possible. So let us know. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Thanksgiving.
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Yes. Gobble, gobble.
Bye.
Bye.
Cybertron!
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.